Hey everyone, Miss Tennessee here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a review on Barbie and Barbie type dolls, Barbie style dolls, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if I should refer to them as Barbie type dolls because Barbie is by Mattel and it's like its own brand, its own doll, but I think you know what I'm trying to get at. I don't want to say dolls and make you think I'm talking about baby dolls, but getting off of that topic, because I could just keep going on and on about that forever, yeah, it's just going to be talking about their price points and a little bit about each company or each brand or each doll specifically, and then also just telling you the things I like and things I don't like about each of these brands and the dolls themselves. So, let us begin. So, we are going to start with Monster High dolls. Now, these are definitely going to be my favorite out of the bunch. I'm going to say that right up front, just be honest with everyone. So one of the things I really like is that they are all so different from each other, and that's why I actually grabbed two different dolls to show you. It kind of looks like I grabbed three because this one actually has two heads. But no, it's just two different dolls. So obviously I love that they are so unique. They're so different. They're just like they're creatures, you know, and it looks really cool, and a lot of thought was put into the design. I mean, from the top of the head to the base of the toes, everything was designed very, very beautifully. You can see the pointed ears on this one. There's some that have like they're werewolves, so they have, you know, the dog style ears on top, and then all the way down the body you can see like the lines and the ridges, and I guess you can say almost designs throughout the entire body. Even the knees. I mean, just everything about it has something to its appearance. The painted toenails, the really long fingernails that are also painted. I mean, I love that. I love how much thought and how much detail was put into each and every single one of these dolls. You know, showing you like these ears, they're completely different, and they go with the serpent type look that they're trying to, I guess, do with this. I don't know how else to put that. That was a really weird way for me to say all that. I'm going to put her down, pick her back up, because that one's not going to really show you everything I also like about these dolls. So one of the other things I really like about these dolls is how posable they are. As someone who's a collector, not a kid playing with them, you know, I would have these on a shelf, and I would probably have like stuff going on around them. Now, I'm a G1 My Little Pony collector. I collect these guys. And so I am trying not to collect anything else because I want one of every G1 My Little Pony, and I already have some G2 and some G3, so it's really hard for me not to collect these, because I think it'd be really fun to set up a little scenario on a shelf, and then these are just so highly posable, you really can fit them into whatever you're trying to do in that scenario. So everything from their hips, their knees, you know, their legs can move like this, their arms at the shoulder, their elbows, and their hands. And the heads tilt, not much, but they do. So yeah, it's just a lot you can do with it, and it really gives like a certain mood or a certain feel to that doll and to the scenario that you're trying to display, or even just as a kid playing it, it shows a lot. Also, it just feels really well made. I feel like if a kid were banging this on the ground, or let's say you're a collector and it fell off your shelf and hit the top floor, I feel like it wouldn't, you wouldn't have to freak out so bad of it shattering, cracking, breaking, whatever. It just feels like it's made with a really, really sturdy material. The hands are actually rubber. You can see him bend the fingers, but everything else is plastic minus the head, which is also rubber. Next up we have, oh, actually, maybe I should say, these were actually discontinued in 2018, which is really, really sad. There may be a comeback in the future, maybe soon even, but as of the moment, as of 2018, these were very unfortunately discontinued due to low sales, surprisingly. Now, I don't know if people want them now because they're discontinued, so it's kind of like, oh, now they're more rare because they don't make them anymore. I don't know, but it's really weird because a lot of people want these, it seems like, so it just seems odd that they had a point of low sales. Really a shame because, again, I love them. Next up, also by Mattel, is the Ever After High dolls. Now, these are based on a fairy tale world at a boarding school, and you're going to see tons of similarities between the two, same exact company, and very, very similar appearances. The big head, the big eyes, and the beautiful makeup, the colorful hair on this one, very, very posable body, making it very easy to do whatever scenario, whatever scene you want to do with them. Also feels like they're well made as well. The only thing I don't like about this particular doll is the glove that is, let me see if I can get out of the, I'm trying so hard. The glove that is permanently on her hand. There we go. Wow. That took me a really long time to figure that out. Anyways, I feel like it'd be better if you could just slip the glove on and take it off. Although, from what I read online, you could pop the hand off and put another hand on. It just seems like a shame that I have to do that, and it just kind of looks weird to me that she just has a glove permanently on her. That's my only flaw with her. So, price-wise, you're looking at about $20, $30 for these dolls. Although, it was really weird. I went on Walmart. I saw dolls priced up to like $85 and $117.21, and it didn't say anything came with them, so I was really confused because there was a doll with just her outfit, and she was $20, and then for $30, it was a doll, outfit, a pet, stickers, accessories, and then a chamber. I don't know what else to call it. So this is Monster High, actually. But it was basically like this, and it was like something she could be placed in, and that was $30. So I don't know what I was seeing for $117. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. From what I read, though, there are actually 156 dolls as of 2020 for Ever After High, but I could be wrong. But that's what I found on my research. Next up is a Bratz doll. Now these are pretty well known because they've been around for quite some time. I believe 2001 is when they came out. And, well, they had a feud with Mattel, actually. So these were made by MGA Entertainment. Now, there is a lot I don't like about this doll. First off, not very posable. It doesn't bend at the elbows. The arms only go like that. The head doesn't really move it. Just like the Monster High, though, just barely tilts. Also, she's very squeaky. That's annoying. Sorry. The legs, they don't go out or anything. They just go up and down. Also kind of squeaky. Not as bad, though. And you'll notice these little stubs. So, where are her feet, you're asking? Her feet are over here with these little holes, and you just pop them into place. So it doesn't look too bad because the line looks like the top of the sock, not a big deal. But when this is like a bare, like say you want to have the doll going to the beach, you would have to go and buy a foot that was a bare foot or a foot in flip-flops. And it's going to look weird because it's not going to be a sock with a line. It's just going to be, you know, skin to skin. And you're going to see the ankle and the leg aren't attached. So, as somebody who would be a collector, it would look really weird in my opinion. So, I really don't like that about them. And I don't like that I have to go out and buy feet if I want bare feet or if I want just different shoes. Yeah, you have to buy different shoes for them. But at least they always have their feet. You know what I mean? So, like her, if I lost her outfit, or if I lost her shoes, she'd still have her outfit and at least she'd have her feet at the bottom. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky. Now, another thing I don't like about them is the over-sexualized look. They also have the big eyes, just like Monster High and Ever After, but it's the fact that their eyes are, like, kind of squinted. Yeah, that could be the very classic almond-shaped eye, but it's also the stare that's kind of up and to the side, and then the plump, glossy, puckered-up lips. It just looks very, very sexualized to me, and I found some outfits online that are very questionable with these. Now, they seem to go for about $35 and up. That's what I was seeing on, like, Target and Walmart, which I found to be very expensive. But they also have, like, these ponies that have also a very sexy look to their eyes. But what I really didn't like, and I don't have one to show you, but they had babies that also had the same expression on their face. So, the squinted eyes with the upward kind of sexy stare and the puckered big plump lips. And that just rubbed me the wrong way. To have Bratz babies that have this sexualized look on their face just really bothered me. Now, as for what was going on between them and them. So, MGA Entertainment is who made Bratz. However, the employee actually worked for Mattel, who makes Barbie. It was a Mattel employee who then left and went to MGA Entertainment with the design that they made for Bratz over at Mattel. So basically, they got sued $10 million for copyright and $90 million for a contract breach. So, whew, win for Barbie again. Now, with Barbie, this is one of the very classic looks. I remember in the 90s when I was playing with them, they had these bent arms, which always drove me absolutely nuts. They are not highly posable, so you are limited on what you can do with them. Their leg kind of just snaps a little bit, not very much at all. That's basically it. So, not too much you can do posing-wise. This one does turn side to side, though. I do like the very feminine, very simple, you know, just look. I don't know how else to explain it other than feminine and simple. But I do like, so here's another one, but you can tell that it's supposed to be a different ethnicity, just very different facial shape. There's different facial features, wow, different nose, different eyes, just everything about it is different, so it's just an overall different appearance, and I do really, really like that. These ones are both similar, that they can turn side to side like that. Now you will notice on their back, they will typically say Mattel Inc. 1966 and then Malaysia or Indonesia where they're made. Now just because it says 1966 is not when they were made. However, this is actually Barbie's younger sister, Skipper. She is a twist and turn Barbie, so she twists and turns that way, but she can also dip at her hips as well, instead of just at her legs, which are also that same low posableness. The arms don't bend at the elbows. But she actually says Malaysia and then Mattel Inc. 1987. So she was actually made in 1987. And it actually says it on the back of her head as well. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus on that. So I still have a lot of research to do with Barbie. I know that like 1966 is supposed to be like when they patented it and everything, got their, the rights to it. But for some reason, some Barbies actually say the date they were made on the back and some do not. Now another thing I like, you can tell that Skipper is supposed to be younger. Not just because she's smaller, but just like the look on her face has a younger, more innocent feel to it. Whereas this is a more mature, sexy, beautiful feel to it. But it's not sexy in the way that I feel like it's trying to be sexualized, if that makes sense. She just looks like she's a very beautiful woman. This is also by Mattel, however, it's supposed to be a Disney princess. I believe it's supposed to be Rapunzel. I'm basing that simply on the insanely long hair. I do not like this doll. Number one, it doesn't bend like at all. So her arms, her wrists, which are awkwardly like out, like why would you constantly be like this? Like that's just really weird and uncomfortable looking. And then the legs don't bend. So, like your Barbies are at a dinner party and this girl's kicking the person across from her. And that just seems very rude and just very strange. Also, very, very cheap plastic. It's plastic throughout, minus the face, which is that squishy rubber still. But otherwise, very, very light. You can tell it's hollow. You can tell it's just like a cheap, thin plastic. So not a big fan of this doll from Mattel. This one was made in 2012, so not much of a surprise. It's kind of that cheapy, let's just get tons of them out and sell them for cheap kind of feel and look. The face still looks nice, but that's about it. Now, this doll, very similar to this over here. By the way, Barbie, typically I saw it was going for like $14.99, which really wasn't bad considering she's like the iconic symbol for these style of dolls. This here is the Fresh doll. So I have a few issues with it. However, one of the things I like is that it is definitely posable. The hips move, the knees move, moves at the elbow and the arm by the shoulder. So she is definitely very posable. Things I don't like. Number one, she has that Mattel feel of this doll, the princess doll. Very, very thin, hollow, cheap plastic. You can feel it when you're holding her and the weight. You can feel it when you touch her, when you tap on her. Just very, very cheaply made. I also don't like that, like you have all these holes and stuff. Yeah, it's for the knee to go in. But this doll also has, there's something on her, the posable knees. But there's not big gaping slots. Same with like in here, you know what I mean? It's just a better design, whereas here there's just like all of these gaping holes and stuff. So if you were to dress her up and pose her in something like shorts and a short sleeve shirt, you're gonna see all these holes and just the joints, and I don't know, they just don't connect really well, I guess. And it's just a design flaw, really. It's just being more cheaply made. The face does look nice though, and they're only $13.99. However, something to keep in mind before you buy one is they have a wider waist and hips and just overall bigger figure. So they don't fit into any of these other dolls' clothing. So you're not going to fit them into Monster High clothing. You can see a huge difference in size. Obviously, the Ever After dolls, again, the Barbie. So let's say you have 200 Barbie outfits and then you get her. Well, she only comes with one outfit for $13.99, so now you're going to have to go on their site again, and you're going to have to buy their outfits, because they're not going to fit into any of these. Whereas these dolls, you can mix and match, all of their clothing. You can mix and match them through all of these companies and these brands and these specific dolls. This one you can't. Now, something a lot of people don't like about Barbie, people have said she's very controversial in her body figure, saying that it's just creating unrealistic expectations for young girls. I disagree with that. Yes, she has the ample chest, the extremely tiny waist, and then goes back out at the thighs, and then has the really toned calves. Yes. Some girls can achieve this. A lot of times it requires a lot of hard work, dedication, and being very strict with your diet. But it is achievable, so I wouldn't say it's unrealistic. For some, yes, it would be. But I don't think we should shame Barbie or Mattel for that. Whereas this has, yes, a more realistic feel to her body shape, which I do like. I think it kind of teaches children a little bit better. That you don't have to have this itty-bitty tiny little waist, but it still does have the big ample chest, the dip in the waist, the thighs and the butt that go out. So, in a sense, you know, and this one does have a much bigger and more defined butt than the other dolls. These dolls, the fresh dolls, are actually only African American dolls from what research I did, and they actually kind of talk about that on their site and on their information, that they are about, you know, African American women and men. There's both female and male dolls. What I don't like, other than it feeling very cheap, was I didn't like, it says on the page that the head can tilt and turn from side to side. Turn side to side. Tilt? No, not at all. Like, literally not at all. So I don't know why it says it can tilt. It can't at all. And then the other thing I didn't like, and this is a quote, "We believe every child should see their beauty." Now, the word every was in bold and in pink, whereas the rest of the writing was black. So the pink was really meant to stand out. We believe every child should see their beauty. I feel like that's kind of a rude quote to put on your page when you only sell African American dolls. I'm not saying that they don't deserve to have their own line of dolls, but you can't say like, oh, Barbie is mostly white dolls. Even if it is mostly white dolls, they still show off every other ethnicity, every gender, every nationality. I was trying to think of what word I was trying to go for there. So they do show everything off, and they do show the differences in the eyes and the facial features, the facial shape, etc., etc. So you can't say it's like an all-white brand or an all-white doll. So I don't mind, you know, having an all African-American doll line. You know, that's your business. You're allowed to do that. I'm not saying my issue is with that. My issue is with saying that they believe every child should see their beauty, but they only want to show the beauty of African-American children. That's my problem with it. I just feel like that's a very inappropriate quote to have on your page when you aren't trying to show the beauty of every child. You're not trying to show the beauty of an Asian child or a little girl from Iran or, you know, a little girl that's white, a little girl that's Mexican. You're not trying to show those other ethnicities, those other races. You're just showing the one. So I just have an issue with that quote, and then also the fact that it says the head can tilt, because no, it cannot. Unless I got a defective doll, and I don't think I did. I just think their heads can't tilt. At least this doll's head can't tilt. Maybe some others can. I don't know, but yeah. But yeah. Oh, yeah, I already said that they're $13.99. So I guess that's it, guys. That would be it. Now I get to put everyone's clothes back on. Actually, it doesn't look like that much, but I get to redress everyone. Woohoo! So that's it. And if you guys want anything, all this stuff is for sale, by the way. So if you're interested in buying anything that you see up here, you can contact me on my pony Instagram, which is linked in the description below. Otherwise, check out my Depop and follow me there, and I will be posting stuff from time to time. You can follow me on Mercari as well, which is another selling app. However, I'm trying to get off of there, so eventually I will no longer be on there. But my prices are also higher on there because Mercari upped their prices. You're mostly going to see little girls and little boys like this because, again, I am a G1 My Little Pony collector, so that's mostly what I have for sale. But as you can see, I have other stuff as well, and I'm trying to branch into even more. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one. Bye!